Area School District families, community, and staff members. I'm Dr. Tremaine Clardy, the proud superintendent of the Brown Area School District, and welcome to the next edition of In the Loop with the Sue. Today, I'm really excited to be here with Associate Principal Mike Murphy. Welcome, Mike. Welcome to the show. And Roanoke Area High School scholar, Aria, and the newest member of the National Honor Society as of last night. Congratulations to you.
Thank you so much.
So we're going to jump right into the discussion today. So we have a very, very important topic, which is our practice for grading for equity. As you think about equity and our philosophy of equity here in the Roanoke Area School District, we know that grading is a huge component of that work and making sure that students have the best experiences in their learning and in their outcomes. So we're going to begin with you, Mr. Murphy. Can you talk to us about, just give us an overarching understanding of what is grading for equity?
Yeah, so really it's foundational on and really focusing on student learning and being really clear in the classroom about what the criteria is that we're assessing our students on, and based on what we assess, then obviously that is reported out as a grade. So we think about the purpose of grading, and oftentimes, I mean, the purpose really is about communicating student achievement to families and to students so that we can make really good decisions on what's next for students.
That's phenomenal. That's really student-centered, and it really focuses on making sure that every student gets what they need in their education.
Absolutely.
So, Aria,
Yeah.
as a student here, how has grading for equity impacted you as a learner?
I think it's impacted me positively. For example, we have the no late work policy, which I think is fantastic because sometimes I'm busy, and I know like many other high schoolers are busy with extracurriculars, jobs, leadership positions, or whatever it may be. So it's kind of nice to not have to worry about every single thing. And then also I have to like worry about all the classes that I have all at once. So although it is nice to be able to do assignments on time, sometimes it might not be possible one night. So it's easier just to say, okay, you know, tonight I'm gonna focus on my physics homework, and then tomorrow I'll focus on calculus or something like that.
Absolutely, and that's a great response to that. As you think about, our intention is to make sure that you're highly proficient in every content area.
Yeah.
So that we really want to gather what you know, not necessarily how fast you know it, right?
Exactly.
And so when we think about the expectations haven't been lowered at all, and obviously not because you're a high-level scholar and a National Honor Society member. Yeah. So tell us about the expectations that we still have for you as a student.
So I think you still expect people to be responsible and ask questions when you need it, right? Because I think that's also a great thing about the late work policy is sometimes you just don't get it before the due date. But if you have the responsibility to say, okay, I'm gonna come in during A+, I'm gonna contact my teacher through email and say, okay, I need help with this assignment, you still have that expectation that you wanna learn it. Like the teachers wanna help you learn, so you will be able to do that like more efficiently, because now instead of just worrying about doing an assignment, you can do it well.
Excellent. That's a great response, and thank you for that. Mr. Murphy, as we think about the trajectory, so we had a beginning point where we began to roll this ideal and get our buy-in from our community and from our staff. Talk about the next steps in making sure that grading for equity goes school-wide here in the Roanoke Area High School.
Yeah, well, I think that already we've established some of the technical structural components. So Aria talked about things like late work, or things like having a mathematical floor so that all of our grades A through F have a 10-point increment, so that the grades make sense mathematically. So that was really our first step and where we started. Were some of those technical pieces. Now really we're diving into the curriculum. If we're saying that really what this is about is students demonstrating evidence of learning and holding students accountable to that rather than points, and rather than kind of playing the grade game. And if a student were to say, hey, I want, you know, what do I need to do to pass this class, or what do I need to do to get an A? That really the response should not be, it's about earning this many points, but the response instead should be, it's about demonstrating this level of learning. And so that's really, I think, that kind of the next step is really to transition to allow for students to accept and for staff to really kind of wrap around, like, how do we do that in a really effective manner to hold students to high levels of accountability to their learning. But then on the back end with teachers and really collaborating around development of clear targets for student learning and within the curriculum. And so have we really made clear what the criteria is, what the students need to demonstrate in order to earn a grade in the classroom, and ultimately what are the steps we're in right now is really describing the power standards, the key components of learning that exist within that course that students need to demonstrate proficiency in.
Absolutely. Thank you, Mr. Murphy. And so when we think about our high expectations here in the Verona Area School District, we are still on this journey, and rightfully so, to be the national model of excellence grounded in equity. And part of that is making sure that our students have top-notch education from our world-class educators, and that they understand that we will work side by side and partner to ensure that each student understands and gets to a level of proficiency. And not always based off of a timeline, but it's really about that partnership to make sure that our students get the knowledge that they deserve to make sure they thrive in the most diverse global society that's ever existed. So that's going to bring an end to our podcast today, and I thank you for joining us. I want to thank our guests for joining us today, and thank you for being such a great contributor. This closes out In the Loop with the Soup. Have a great day.